All righty. And we are rolling. So welcome everybody. This is our third mini podcast, and I'm Shawn Zachary, Executive Director of the National HBCU Auxiliary and Dance Directors.
So, welcome everybody. This is,
hold on, I gotta turn the sound down. Directors Association. I was getting the feedback in my ears. Oh, God. Okay. And today we are going to talk about the art of baton twirling. The name of this mini cast is Baton Twirling a Dying Art? And this is something that we've been talking about amongst ourselves for quite a bit. So I wanted to bring in my resident expert, Ms. Catherine Callahan, who is former baton twirler extraordinaire from Morris Brown College. And you've twirled some other places too, didn't you, Kat?
Yes, I was part of Georgia Youth on Parade. It's part of USTA, and Olivia, I'm pretty sure you know about USTA. So I was twirling with GYP for like more than 25 years. So that's where I got all my experience with twirling, dancing, like all that in one. And I, from GYP, I went to Morris Brown, and I twirled and danced. I was the Bubbling Brown as well. So I was Morris Brown only featured twirler. Twirling 1, 2, and 3 baton, and on top of dancing as well. So yeah.
Great, awesome. Okay, and also with us we have the founder of Black Baton Twirlers Network, and I know you guys have seen them on Instagram. And this is Miss Olivia Lynch, and she is the founder. I'm going to let her introduce herself. So Olivia, tell us a little bit about who you are.
Hey everybody, as she said, my name is Olivia Lynch. I'm originally from Easton, Pennsylvania, but I'm currently in Pittsburgh, PA. I was a competitive baton twirler for about 23 years. I competed in USTA and MBTA with the Wheaton dance twirl teams and a few other teams. My background is just kind of like Catherine, 1, 2, 3 baton, but also dance. I started dancing when I was 2 years old and did that competitively as well. I am the first African-American to win Congressional Cup, which is an invitational that is held where the elite compete, and it's invitational, which is really cool. I'm also a world champion with our Wheaton dance twirl teams in 2006, 2009, and 2012. And I twirled for the University of Pittsburgh. I was a University of Pittsburgh Golden Girl, so that was a lot of fun. And now, which I'm really excited, besides the Black Baton Twirling Network, which I'm excited to talk about, I also get to help out with the Howard University Baton Twirlers, which we're bringing them back with my partner, Irene Johnson.
Yay! We are so excited about that, about Howard bringing their baton twirlers back, because to me, that is kind of the crux of what we're talking about today is this a dying art? And are we really seeing our baton twirlers kind of go away, or the opposite? Is there a resurgence of baton twirling at HBCUs and maybe high school show style bands and other things like that? So that's kind of the crux of what we're talking about. But go ahead and tell me a little bit about the Black Baton Twirlers Network. What inspired you to start that, and how's it going?
Yeah, of course. So Black Baton Twirlers Network, or BBTN as I call it, is less than a year old. We're a 501c3, which I'm super excited about. And we started it because we felt like we needed something to bring the Black community together, with specifically within baton twirling, just because when I was growing up, there wasn't many Black baton twirlers, and Catherine, you probably saw that as where there was really none, especially in the elite level. Right. And I was fortunate that I had the resources and the amazing coaches and the connections, but not everybody has that. So I wanted to give back to the community, but I really didn't know how. And I just didn't feel like I had a space to do that. I also teach baton and dance on the side, and I do clinics. But I felt like I wasn't able to really truly give back. So I messaged John Mitchell, he's an extraordinary judge. He did soul playing. He's awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's really awesome. And he's one of was my judges and now my partner. So it's kind of cool being able to have that relationship when I was like an itty bitty twirler and now we're like adults talking. So I messaged him one night and I was like, hey, I really want to do this thing. I wrote this like long proposal of like what we would do. We had a name, I had pillars. And he was like, all right, let's do it. So we grabbed a few people together to kind of create this foundation to start the Black Baton Twirlers Network. And now it's a full organization. And Black Baton Twirlers Network is truly to support, promote, and also provide opportunities for the twirling community. Our main focus is for twirlers of color. We have members from United States, Canada, South Africa, which is really cool. Yeah, and it's just like a huge connection. And it really, I'm opening my eyes a lot more to what we can do as an organization, and obviously connecting with you all and a few other organizations, and then HBCU of like, how can we continue to keep baton twirling active so it isn't a dying art.
Alive, yes.
Right. And providing grants and scholarships and trainings and just like connecting you with different resources. And I'm sure you both know, like specifically with resources like tights and shoes. Like when I was a little girl, it was really hard to get tights.
Yeah, cool.
Like, buy them out in bulk. And like if you didn't have them, like you had to wear a different shade. And then for shoes, my mom had to dye them. So they just came out with that, but still baton twirling shoes, like our cougars that we wear. Some of them.
I was just gonna say we have cougars, right? Yeah. Those are like twirling shoes that you must have. You like, if you don't have your cougars or your white girls, it was between the white girls and cougars, but the cougars are the twirling shoes.
Yep. So we're trying to find resources so students are able to connect to that, and also providing professional development opportunities. So I'm huge about pathways, not just within higher education, but like, how do you stay connected to the organization? How do you retain those twirlers? Because we find that twirlers of color are just not staying involved.
Right.
We have some that are judges, we just have one judge. She just became a judge, which was really exciting. We finally have a female MBTA judge. Which we haven't had in a while. John is by himself, so we're trying to build that. But also, if you're a lawyer, like here's how you stay connected with the sport of baton twirling. So providing these opportunities, also making sure that our middle school, high school level twirlers know the opportunities available to them, because a lot of them don't know you can get scholarships for baton twirling.
Right. I know I didn't know that.
Great. So Black Baton Twirlers is kind of creating that network and finding the like-minded people that had the same experiences so we can make those changes.
Right. So tell me a little bit about how the coaching opportunity at Howard University came along.
Yeah. So funny story. We are starting these clinics called the Excellence Tour. And pretty much it's just a way to promote judges of color, twirlers of color, because a lot of times in clinics, you don't see twirlers of color as the staff, unless it's a twirler of color hosting a camp and they use their own staff. So being able to find talent, which there's a lot of talent, a lot of people want to be involved, but there just wasn't an opportunity or space. So these clinics are just kind of showcasing the best of the best in all different areas, not just competitive style, HBCU, Showtime bands, because again, we want to be able to provide all the different types of twirling. That is just not one silo, one pathway, you know? So I reached out to Howard University because Irene, one of our board of directors, she's like, why don't you have it at Howard? Like they're looking for different opportunities. And I was like, okay. So we started talking and we found that there was this group of twirlers that wanted to be a part of the band, that wanted to perform. And so I started helping them with Irene, and they had their audition. And Kelvin, Dr. Washington was like, do you want to be one of their coaches? I was like, yeah, sure. So Irene and I were like, we'll tag team this, we'll make it happen. So I'm really excited because I was always a part of the PWI community. So I really get excited to get into the HBCU community and learn and grow and kind of bring some of that competitive style, but also maintaining the culture, the showiness of, you know, HBCU bands. So I'm super excited because I love performing. And I always thought HBCU bands were always like the best, you know, because they just provide a show. You sit down, you're not there for football, you're there for the
right. You're there for the band.
You know, whatever the band is playing, that's all I want to see. So I'm excited to bring that experience and bring that tradition back to Howard University.
Right. So Kat, give me a little bit of information about how you transitioned from being a performer to being a coach, because you coach dance, and I know you've coached twirling in you know, here and there throughout.
Right.
How did you make the transition from performer to coach?
I mean, I don't know. It came naturally, to be honest. By me being in GYLP and being a show corps with GYLP, and dancing and twirling at the same time. So from there, high school, doing the same thing, twirling and dancing, then going to college, twirling and dancing. So, you know, twirl for being a feature twirler. Once I was done, then I had to put it down and dance, you know, with bubbling.
Right.
So, you know, here in Atlanta, it's like it's missing baton twirling. So for me, it's like I do both. So it's like, okay, I can't really find no school that has baton twirling or being a featured twirler. So you really don't see that talent. So I was like, okay, so that led me more to like finding schools that I can be over to teach them dance. And someone was like, oh, Miss Kat, could you teach us how to twirl? I'm like, I can, but at the same time, you got to be disciplined because it's a lot when you're trying to learn how to get into twirling. It's all about discipline and starting with the fundamentals and basic. Because once you get the fundamentals and basic, then it can take you a long way. Right, Olivia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know what I would love to do is for us to you know, well, Olivia and I have been saying that we got to sit down and talk about how we can partner on things. And one of the things I'd love to do is maybe start a pipeline through to Olivia's organization so that we can get more people in the Atlanta area and other places that, you know, aren't really heavy with baton twirling to get these grants and get scholarships and maybe get into competing, because they may not have that opportunity at the school they're currently attending.
Right.
So, you know, the only thing that we can really do is to try and maybe push them through a different avenue. And then maybe when they get to college, you know, they can go to, you know, one of the schools that has twirlers. So we know that Howard's bringing their twirlers back, North Carolina A&T, Savannah State, Hampton University. I'm not sure about Tennessee State, maybe Tennessee State as well. So, you know.
Yeah, more so Jackson State, because they normally have featured twirlers there.
Featured twirlers, Jackson State has featured twirlers.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many people come up to me asking me, you know, when are we going to add twirlers back? Because I'm assuming that the Marching Storm had twirlers at some point. And people come up to me all the time asking me that, and I'm like, don't know.
But you know, the biggest thing is, Sean, the biggest thing is finding the right instructors, because everybody is not a twirler. Some people are like, oh yeah, I twirled in high school. You twirled in high school, but could you really twirl? Twirl is like 1 baton, 2 baton, 3 baton, fire. That's getting into that. And a lot of times people, they thinking twirling is like, oh, okay, yes, I'm a twirler, I can twirl, and they just do figure twirls or, you know, figure eights and all that stuff. But no, it's more than that. So it's finding the right instructors that has the experience, but it's not many. It's not many like Olivia, or it's not many like me or Wendy C or everybody else who was up under GYP or who's from Tennessee. And I'm pretty sure, you know, a lot of teams in Tennessee. So it's finding the right instructors or getting them trained to become great instructors as well, and great coaches. So.
And another thing that people, don't realize is that there's different styles of twirling, especially, the twirling that you see in the competitive ranks is one style, but then where I'm from, Louisiana, the twirling is way different.
It is,
way
and in Alabama. Right.
Yeah.
And in Alabama.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in Alabama, and even in parts of Virginia, because when the band director from IC Norcom is Miss Juliet, band director at IC, and when she was at IC Norcom in Portsmouth, Virginia, their baton twirlers took on what they call it. They call it the jamboree style or something like that. But whatever it is that they do in New Orleans, that's the way they twirled at their high school, even though their band was, of course, a Norfolk State Spartan Legion alike band. So, a lot of people kind of forget there are so many twirlers down south that we just don't even realize it. And wouldn't it be great if we could, start funneling them to these programs, to the HBCU programs that have them, that have twirlers, and I think that would be great. So, the question.
I will say that there's like several organizations here. Like one of my friends, her name is Wendy C. She has a nonprofit organization which here is in Atlanta, and they're good. Like she's very great with twirling, and it's another twirling organization here. And I think it's like two more other twirling organization here, but they're not as big. But they are, they're here, but it's not as big as GYP was.
Yeah, there is one of my teammates, Colleen, she has a group in Atlanta and it's called Forte, and she just opened up a studio.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I was gonna say, I think the other thing is that with the different styles, trying to figure out how that all meshes together, because if someone from like a jamboree style, majorette style comes to a competition, and we've heard this, they feel like they're kind of fish out of water. They're like, how do I compete with this? Like, what does, what I mean? So figuring out a way to connect these twirlers all together and make them feel like they belong. Because that's the other thing. We're hearing a lot that twirlers are just not feeling like they belong in their sport because they don't see the people. They don't see any representation. And it's not that they don't love to twirl, they do, but they're going to clinics, they're kind of sitting by themselves, or they're going to competitions and nobody's talking to them. So we need to create a space where everybody feels welcome, no matter what you're twirling, and then figuring out how to combine that all together to bring these people up through the HBCU and the PWI system, because I think it's great seeing that diversity.
Yeah, I am just envisioning just some great things that we're going to do together. I really do. I think it's a great opportunity for us to work together and to to keep the culture going, basically. So on the HBCU level, and maybe Kat, you can comment on this a little bit more, but on our HBCU level, there were a lot of HBCUs that had twirlers and feature twirlers that no longer have them. Prairie View is one. I think South Carolina State is another.
Morris Brown.
Yeah, Morris Brown, schools that had them and now don't have them anymore. Was it just lack of interest? Was it lack of people wanting to take up the skill? Or was it the band directors? Because, sometimes the band director's vision does not include twirlers.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So, what do you think it could be?
That's really hard. No, go ahead. I was just going to say the band directors, like on all levels, I don't know why, we just get a bad rep, and it's so stupid.
I think it's with the timing because back in the day, baton twirling was the first thing that started before dancing.
Correct.
So I think that once that band director came in, it's like, okay, I want to get rid of the twirling. I just want dancers. So I think it's both. I think it was the band director, and I think that it probably was the lack of wanting to twirl, because a lot of people want to dance. That's all they want to do.
Right.
Twirling, oh yeah, okay, yeah. But dancing, their main focus is dancing. So I think it's both. It's some that want to twirl and some that don't. So I think that it's both as far as the band director on the band director side, and also if I want to twirl or not. No, I think I get more attention dancing. So that's what I really think it is.
That's what I was gonna say too, is like the exposure. Dance is everywhere, and media on TikTok.
Yeah.
Multiple shows. So like when you're thinking about it, it's like dance and cheer. Is that
right? Yeah.
Baton used to compete with them, but now they're below here because they can't compete. You can't compete. It's like a popularity status, it's exposure, and so we need to figure out how to compete on their level to bring it back in our own way, because I think baton twirling is a very unique sport. It's an art form, but it's competitive.
Right.
And you can put your own spin on it, and a lot of people can get involved. But yeah, I just think that's a huge thing, is that exposure.
And two, I think that because like twirling is like a whole different world. It's just like the gymnastic world of when you see on with the Olympics. But nobody never seen like a twirling competition when you're coming out doing a full show. Like we did the eyes on the sparrow.
Right.
So we came out with choir robes, we came out with tamarines. I mean, like the flag was incorporated, color guard was incorporated. So it was like a full show. So it's just like you going to a performing arts school, but you seeing like a twirling organization putting on a big performing arts show. So I think that once they start seeing the creativity of that you can be creative with it, and also add, just adding the flavor would get the people back into it, get the kids back into it, I think.
Right. And then the younger that we can start with the kids, the better.
Right. Yeah.
My mom tried to teach me how to twirl, when I was young, and I couldn't stay focused on it. It was hard. I kept, hitting myself and, dropping the baton.
That's how you get better. Look, that's how you get better. And it's like, Olivia.
Yeah, but when someone gets hit, I'm like, congratulations, you're a baton twirler. You're now part of the club.
Oh, yeah.
Almost everybody has hit themselves in multiple areas.
Right.
Yeah, that's just like we tell dancers when they slip on the floor and fall. We're like, congratulations. You're now a dancer. Well, that's cool. So I know this is one of the things that Kat is not just Kat, me too, but is really serious about. She knows what I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so in our industry, in our business, baton twirlers, there's this thing with baton twirlers versus majorettes versus dancers, and the dancers are now being called majorettes because of the popularity of the majoretting style, which was popularized in the show Bring It, correct? So there's like, okay, we're dancers, we're HBCU dancers, but we get called majorettes a lot, and it caused like this whole confusion thing, because I've just gotten to the point now where I just don't even correct people, and I just don't correct people because they say,
I'm sorry, I correct them all the time, Sean. I just can't, because I mean, I've been twirling since I was little, and it's like when you have that passion for what you know and what you do, it's like, no, that's not it. Because when you just keep training their mind thinking, oh, I'm a majorette. No, you need a baton in your hand because you're a twirler, and also now you're a majorette. But dancing is just straight dancing to me, and it doesn't go together. I just cannot. And when you look it up, when you Google it, and look it up in the dictionary, it breaks down what it is. And again, it goes back to twirlers.
I know, but so here's the thing. I really would love, I know it comes from the South, in particular Mississippi. So I know that's where the conversion of the name changed, from, we weren't just dancers, that what the style of dancing that they are doing, including the bucking and the J setting, which of course is its own brand. I mean, how about that? You got a whole brand of dancing named after you, J setting, right? So all of that somehow got shoved under this majoretting category or definition.
I don't understand, but I will say this again. That goes back to what we was talking about earlier. Before it became dancing, yes, they did have majorette.
Correct.
It was majorette, but they had a baton in their hand.
That's right. You're right.
So again, someone had to say, "Oh, I'm a majorette." No, you don't have a baton in your hand, but they had batons in their hand back in the day. But again, if you look it up, that's not the proper word for dancing.
It's not the proper word for it. Right.
It'd be funny when someone says like, "Oh, I'm a majorette" to me, and I'm like, "Oh, so you like twirl baton?" And they're like, "No, it's on the dance line." And I was like, "Oh," which is great. You're on dance. Like I can vibe with you that way because I'm a dancer. But I was like super excited that you were a baton twirler, and
right.
You were not. So like I know some people are saying like majorette baton twirling, majorette dance, but I know a lot of people in the competitive world are like, majorette is with the baton, kind of like that, you know what I mean? So it is confusing, and I think it confused a lot of people, especially with branding. Like, baton twirling, like how do we brand ourselves? We're kind of losing our identity because there's so many different ways to describe a baton twirler. One, and then like you bring in that majorette world, you don't know what audience you're talking to.
Yeah,
right. I agree.
Yeah, and then we've had so many people come express interest in anything HBCU at this point, and they don't know that, they just kind of know what pop culture has taught them, and currently that happens to be that majoretting is that dancing is majoretting and majoretting is dancing. So they come into looking to utilize us in advertising and marketing and stuff, and that's the first thing they say is like, are you a majorette? I'm like, no, don't twirl, we dance. So I think slowly, we'll get the word out. We'll get the word out about that. But that is, I really do see, I know some people think that the art is dying, but I don't see that. And maybe I'm looking at it from a different perspective, but even with the interest in the twirling that happens in New Orleans, which if you guys have gone to a Mardi Gras parade, you know exactly
and they just
what I'm talking about.
Off. They just begin with and then they battle with the
yeah, they get in, they get in spaces and they're like this.
Yes, they do it.
Like, wow.
And I'm like, if you can just use that talent and you just be taught by somebody that knows what they're doing, they do not know how they can be amazing baton twirlers.
Yeah.
They can take you to the next level. So
yeah, absolutely. And I think that, we can definitely provide an outlet for any of those twirlers that want to go on and go forward. It doesn't have to stop there.
Right.
But I also, Texas Southern also has twirlers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so I'm not quite sure of the style of every university that has twirlers, but I think there's probably something out there for them, and so I'm really hoping through the Auxiliary and Dance Directors Association that we can highlight those twirlers and give them a platform, and so that they can know that they're appreciated, but that we can also inspire younger twirlers to know that they've got somewhere to go if this is what they want to do. I don't know if people know that Golden Delight has I want to say 5 twirlers that they also have to dance.
Right.
So if you guys want to go try out for Golden Delight, y'all need to come talk to Kat. Because Kat dances and Kat twirls.
Right.
And I'm not sure about the other schools and, if they are simply feature twirlers. Now, I will tell you, well, Jackson State, their feature twirlers are just amazing. I mean, I remember them back when I was in college, and I mean, just freaking amazing. Amazing feature twirlers. And that is another outlet. Maybe, some university bands may not want like a whole crew of baton twirlers, but there's definitely opportunities to incorporate feature twirlers into some, if not all, of their halftime shows.
Yeah.
Right.
And sometimes you don't even have to twirl for, football games. There's some
Right.
basketball, there's so many outlets. And I think and the competitive side, for like USTA, MBTA, GMA, and I'm probably missing a few,
right.
but they all have like collegiate days, and it'd be so cool. And I knew they used to do like collegiate days where you got to like sit and talk to different universities. So it'd be great if we could bring them there to showcase their styles and what they can do, because it's just the exposure, you know what I mean? You only see what you see, but there's all these twirlers that want to twirl. And these groups are saying like, college is great. That's where you get to shine. That's where you get to like share your love of baton twirling and less pressure. So like bridging that gap, like how do we get funnel these people? Because there's probably twirlers at those colleges that don't have twirlers.
Oh, of course.
They just don't have the opportunities or the staff or, what I mean, a chance to do it.
Yeah. One of my alumni foxes was a twirler. And she used to always really want to twirl, and well, actually two of them, and they used to always want to twirl, and it just didn't work out. but they used to, like, whenever we would have high school camps, and some of the young ladies that would come to the camp, and they happen to be twirlers, I always had twirlers on my team that could, work with those people. So they are there. It's just unfortunate that, where we are, if she wanted to really twirl over dancing, she would have had to go to Texas Southern. And, me speaking as from Prairie View, no, she ain't going to Texas Southern, she's going to Prairie View. So, so yeah. I really I'm excited about Olivia. And again, you're just one of these people that we just stumbled on. Like, we weren't introduced to one another or anything like that. We just kind of like started following each other, I think.
Yeah, literally just following each other. And then I was like, you guys are really cool. So let me reach out and see if you all want to talk. Because again, like, I'm all about pathways. That's kind of how I found we have two other partnerships. One was with Aurora Tights, and the other one is with Lavender Leaps and Leotards. Same similar story, just in dance, ice skating, and majorettes, I think. So I was just like, these are cool people and the same stories. So that's kind of how it happened. And I'm glad that we're able to have these conversations and talking about the future and how we can support.
Yeah,
and absolutely. Olivia, if you need any dancewear as well, I have my own company called Chic Dancewear. So if you need anything, I have it. And also I'm a part of USTA, so I'm a member of USTA. I forgot to tell you that as well. So but during the pandemic, I was studying to be a judge, but it's a lot. So
we're gonna talk because we have the Judges Collective. I'm adding you.
All my material. But like I said, I am a member. I did pass, I think he's like the Judge 1. So I'm working on Judge 2. So
nice.
I'm at Coach 1. So I'm deep in it. I'm really deep in it. So so that's a whole nother.
Let's talk after, but yes, definitely there's ways, like I said, I want to just be able to promote all the resources and lift everybody up, especially businesses too, like if they're a former twirler doing their own thing, like we want to celebrate that too.
Absolutely. And I want to before I forget, I do want to say to anyone watching, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you'll get notified of when our mini casts come up, any more of our productions or videos or mini casts. And also, like this video as well. And if you are interested in becoming a member of the Black Baton Twirlers Network, Olivia, how can they find you?
Yeah, they could just go to blackbatontwirlersnetwork.com. That's our website, or find us on our social media. We have Facebook, Instagram. We're just starting TikTok, but our website, blackbatontwirlersnetwork.com. And if you use /members, it brings you right to that page.
Awesome. Okay. And for all of our coaches out there, we are again in our membership drive. So we would love to have you as a member of the National HBCU Auxiliary and Dance Directors Association. The link to request membership is in our bio on Instagram. And I think it's also pinned to our Facebook account as well. So, and right now, Kat's working on our website. We're going to get our website up and going, and so you'll be able to go directly through to our website. Membership does have its privileges, isn't that right, Olivia?
Yeah.
Yeah, membership has its privileges.
Both organizations, I definitely recommend joining because they have different opportunities.
Yeah. And so please, if you're watching, go on ahead and like I said, subscribe, and join. And be with us. The Coaches Association will be in Atlanta the end of March, early April for our conference. And we'll need to, you'll also be tuned in. If you go ahead and follow Black Baton Twirlers Network, you'll be tuned into all of the events. Just the other night, she had a webcast with all male Black Baton Twirlers. I was looking at the pictures like, ooh. Okay, I should follow these. Okay, yeah. So she has all kinds of connections and really trying to promote the sport. And I'm just so happy to see that. And Kat, any closing words from you?
No, I mean, just, if you're interested in twirling, I would say go for it. I would say research it first. Research what are you trying to do? Why do you want to become a baton twirler? Do you want to just do it just to do it? But I say research, and then once you research, find that right coach for you.
Correct.
And reach out to Olivia, or they can reach out to me, and I'm in Atlanta, so I am part of USTA, and anybody that's part of USTA are everything. Like, we're great. So,
you definitely are. And I also want to tell anyone that's in the Houston area, I was made aware of a Baton Twirlers. I don't know if they're a team or a club or a group or exactly what they are, but they're called Marching Thunder.
Oh.
Marching Thunder. I wonder where they got that name from. Yes, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay. And they are here in the Houston area. So I'm going to try to reach out to them and establish a connection as well. So again, guys, I just want to thank everybody for joining us. We hope that you learned something and that you do feel that baton twirling is not a dying art. And
no, it's not.
No, it's not. And we really hope to spread the love and spread the joy and to attract more people into the sport. So with that, I'm going to say
the world of majorettes.
As well as majorettes.
I wanted to say one thing. The state of Texas, they're awesome. They have a website for all baton twirling where they have clinics, competitions, different instructors. So if you're looking for that, I can share that with you.
Okay. Absolutely. Because I do want to, one of the things that in being a national organization is truly being a national organization.
Right.
So we're wanting to be able to provide resources to anyone that needs it, regardless of where they are.
Right.
Absolutely. Especially since I live here.
Right.
right, ladies. Well, that's it for this evening, and I just want to thank you for joining me. And we will see you guys. We will be here next week for another mini cast. I think the topic was supposed to be. I'm not sure, but I might flip it. I think it was supposed to be coaching. No. The show next week is about color guard. It is everything color guard. Okay. So I need all my color guard people, all my color guard coaches to make sure that you are tuning in next week, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, Monday evening. And we'll say goodbye and we'll see you guys then.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.